Hi, folks. You're watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. All of our channels and platforms like Pinterest and YouTube and Twitter. I'm Mike Morales here in the San Gabriel Valley of Southern California. That guy out there is
Rick Levy in the San Pasqual Valley of Southern California.
Rick and I. We're kind of this is a treat for us because I have been chasing this brand for a while. And they have moved heaven and earth to get this to us. It's called El Hijo de mis Amores. And for those of you who are Hispanically impaired, that means the kid of my loves, or the child of my many loves. It's the literal translation, but it loses something in the romance, and I'll try to get to the romance part of it later. But I'm just...
So would you say that kind of translates to baby mama?
Yeah, baby mama, or you know, if it were coming from the male point of view, right? The male POV. Otherwise, you know, baby daddy, right?
Daddy.
I to be honest, I had just a little bit last night. I finally have enough time to actually do a little pre-research. I have all the ins and outs, but we're not going to do that. First, we're going to taste the juice. Then we're going to go into it on all the stats and stories. So Rick is just now breaking the seal on his. We're both going to be using the Stasso Frito, as is our custom for Blanco tequilas. This is a 40 ABV, 80 proof Blanco, as they normally are, unless otherwise noted by us. And I'm gonna
Got a couple bubbles hanging out on top of my pour. That's nice.
These have been at room temperature for, gosh, for me, several weeks actually.
About a week for me, I think.
Yeah, yours. You were out of town and you just found yours on your doorstep when you got home, probably.
Well, no, they showed up like the day after I got back on a Sunday, actually.
Excellent! Wow, talk about service.
That was surprising.
Beautiful legs and tears.
Yeah, nice coat.
Yeah.
Getting a nice constellation of pearls here.
Yeah, there they go. Nice string of pearls. Yes.
Slow tears.
Yeah, that kind of leads me to believe this is some good structure that we're going to be.
Right. It's really hanging together.
Yeah, it's not streaming down. You know, it's not. It doesn't give that thin look to it. So let's see what we get in the nose. Oh. Wow, it's different on one side than the other. As usual, I go from left brain to right brain, left nostril to right nostril.
I'm getting a nice pop of citrus zest.
I think it was the shaking up, but I got a little bit of that little bit of a brick oven kind of. I don't want to call it.
Yeah, I think they are cooking the agaves in. They're not using an autoclave. I think they are using an oven.
We're not sure, and I'll get to that point when I start reading the information that they sent us, because they're very vague as to which process they're using. I'm going to assume they're using both. You and I have had plenty of tequilas from this distillery, and I'll mention that distillery just in a little bit here, so stick with us. But it's a bright citrus nose as well, though.
Yeah.
No, virtually no alcohol. I'm not even.
A little bit of grassiness. Definitely the agave's coming through, but the citrus really pops.
Yeah, it's almost like a grapefruit. It's not even a lime. It's like to me.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
I love it. I love it when it has a grapefruit accent, especially if I'm going to be mixing. Like if I'm making making a Paloma or something like that, I really love to have that grapefruit accent.
Yeah, oh wow. I think I got just a hint of anise, just a hint on this side, on the inside of. It was just barely there.
Yeah.
Wow, I had not noticed that. Normally I don't usually when I serve myself just to enjoy tequila, I don't usually use these glasses. These are my tools. So I usually pour in a snifter. And every time you pour the same pour in a different vessel, it's going to smell and taste and react differently. This one is designed to actually bring these elements up to you. And I did not get anise last night, which is really kind of I love that. You and I look for that.
Yeah, I'm totally pulling that out now. Oh, well,
So brief.
the anticipation's killing me. Shall we dive in?
Let's dive in. Let's go. Mm, 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 mm. Wow. Mm.
Mm.
It went in more aggressively than I remembered.
For
Wow.
me, it went in. It felt a little thin on the palate when it first went in, but towards the end, it started to feel more creamy.
Yeah, the explosion in mid palate. There was all kinds of pepper.
Yeah, getting a lot of pepper.
And boy, that's a long finish, man. That's a medium to long finish. That's a nice warm fuzzy. Wow.
Oh,
It
that's
didn't go in,
good.
it wasn't as sweet as I was anticipating. Like I said, the vessels make a big difference, folks. They really do. That's why I love these jarritos. I'm sure if we poured the same thing in a riedel, it would react totally differently. And for us, the jarrito really gives us all the elements that we're looking for and more, even some that we didn't know were there. Because like I said, with the snifter, I didn't get anything as far as anise, and in this one it's like it's there,
Right.
it's barely there, it's faint, but it's there, and for me anise has always been a forebearer of brick oven tequilas that have been baked in a brick oven. Um, wow, that was I got to go through a second pass here. That first one was. Mm. Wow.
There's a little bit of sweetness. That would be the baked agave.
Yeah. Um, I
And
I dig this. This
just
is really good.
check out this constellation. I don't know if you can see it here on my glass, but it's really hanging.
Yeah, you've got the
Right. Oh, it
the,
shows up great on yours.
the structure and the body on the palate. We were not, we weren't kidding when we said it looks like it's going to have some nice structure, and all the action happens in the palate. It's really bright. There's more action on the palate than there is on the nose, but the nose is subtle, and you need to really play with it and let it open up, because I'm kind of anxious to see what else I pull out on the nose, because that palate.
It's like the citrus, and the citrus jumps out on the aroma, but on the palate, the citrus is almost secondary. You have like the citrus and the agave sweetness, but what really is the experience is the pepper explosion and then the warmth in the finish.
Yeah, it's got a strong finish. Its finish is really strong. And not in a bad way. I'm not saying that it's super aggressive, because it really isn't. But like you said, there was The action only happens not in the intake. It happens at mid palate, and boom, that's where it just wakes up and comes alive. Um, the retronasal is good. Everything about this Blanco is strong. It would hold up. It would hold up to your Paloma. It would hold up to soda, ice. Let's go into the ins and outs.
Yeah, this comes from NOM 1438, and so that's Destiladora del Valle de Tequila in the Valley. That's a big maquiladora. They're producing about 150 brands, but there's a lot of good brands that come out of there. We got Abriollos and Siempre. We got Ghost, which is an infused that we really like.
Yep.
And we just reviewed Los Sundays, which also comes out of there.
Yeah, and apparently they're so good. I mean, the Blanco for Los Sundays was great. It was a great starting point for the rest of the line. And with this one, El Hijo de Mis Amores, if you know anything about this distillery, they use a combination of autoclave and brick oven. I don't think it's exclusive to one or the other unless it actually says that. With the information that was sent to us by El Hijo de Mis Amores, they were very vague about what the process is. They give us a lot of. What's interesting is they say that this distillery is one of the highest awarded. Some of the brands that come out of there have been given awards from like the SIP Awards. For me, the only award that counts for me besides ours is BTI, the Beverage Tasting Institute. And so some of those have been highly rated. The Old Spirits of Mexico is another one.
I thought you were going to say it was this award that was the most important.
Well, yeah, that's that award for us is
the Tequila Aficionado Brands of Promise
That's
Award.
Right, the Brands of Promise. And we have had several Brands of Promise that come out of this distillery. So it's again, folks, just because a maquiladora, there are reputable maquiladoras out there producing some really stellar brands. Like La Cofradia is another one. A lot of award-winning brands come out of there. And this one is another one. But
there's some of there's some highly rated maquiladoras where you really do just, when you have the opportunity, you want to check out anything that comes out of there.
Oh yeah, you look forward to it because you already know what to expect. For us with La Cofradia, there's certain brands that come out of La Cofradia have a certain stamp on them that is distinctive. Like Jose Cuervo, you can pick Jose Cuervo stuff out blindfolded because you know what they taste like in a blind taste test. They have a certain stamp on their flavor profile or their aroma that distinguishes themselves from others. And Cofradia is the same way. With this one.
And another one is 1414. Blanco is Sociedades.
Yeah, but then again, that was not, to me, that wouldn't be, I wouldn't consider that a huge maquiladora because they're very particular. But yeah, they have a certain process that they follow as well. With Los Hijos de Mis Amores, it was interesting. The gentleman who made this happen, and in fact, I'll give you the ins and outs. This is imported by a company called Tequilas Exclusivos in Rosenberg, Texas. They moved heaven and earth to get this to us. They asked me to read that there's a poem that is a romantic poem that it's a theme tequila. Okay, so the theme goes from the Blanco to the Reposado to now. So I'm going to read the Blanco section here.
Put on your radio voice for us, Mike.
Put on my radio voice. Okay, excuse me, this is en español. Por el poder de la atracción a la mujer, aliada perfecta para enamorarse de aquel hombre dispuesto a soñar con el hijo de mis amores. In other words, you're dreaming about your children. You can see your children's faces in the love, in the eyes of your love. So yeah, baby mama, baby daddy. That's what it boils down to. For the U.S., that's what it is, boys and girls. But yeah, it's It's a very
Oh, I had also found out that on the website they say that the Blanco is triple distilled.
See, they don't say that they don't say that at all on the PDF information that they sent to us, the sell sheet, as we call it sometimes in the business. It doesn't say that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because the Blanco, the silver, the information we have here is it's made 100% blue agave from the state of Jalisco, crystal clear silver. Like I said, nothing. The spec sheet doesn't say anything except for how many bottles in a case, and how many cases in a pallet. Other than that, it doesn't tell us a whole lot. When they describe the distillery, it tells us that they do that they have the capacity to produce 500,000 liters. I think they said that for the distillery, and I'm not sure if that's a month or a week or a day. 500,000 liters per month. Oh no, excuse me. 500,000 liters per month. Again, I'm funning you. Okay, I'm having fun. Because if I can't have fun, then why are we doing this at all, right? But anyway, that's what this is, and so now if you've had it, please let us know in the comments below. If you're watching us on YouTube, on the internet, or you happen to catch us on any of our other platforms like the podcast. So first of all, subscribe, okay, because that helps the algorithm. Hit the notification bell. Give us a like on this video. Find us on Instagram too, because you can follow us we're on everything: Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere. We're like a virus. But if you had this tequila before, El Hijo de Mis Amores, tell us what you think, and probably you've seen this a lot in Mexico. This is up until recently, this is a Mexico-only brand, so it was coming in at 38 ABV. In the U.S., it is a 40 ABV. But you know what? As we have in the past, brands of promise nominee in that Blanco category. That Blanco category is going to kill me, boys and girls. This year is the largest submission year we've ever had for brands of promise and sipping off the cuff. So thank you to all the brands. Thank you to El Hijo de Mis Amores, Don Rodolfo, for making this happen, and the team. Stick with us, because unless you got something else to add, Rick, we've got a reposado and we got an añejo as well. I have not broken into those. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm looking forward to it. But that's our take. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California, in the heartbeat of the San Gabriel Valley. That guy out there is
Rick Levy, also in Southern California.
And you've been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on all of our channels and networks, on Tequila Aficionado Media, tequilaaficionado.com. Whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.